Hey guys, welcome back. So I wanted to take a moment to do a little video for you guys on that easy seat that we take at the beginning of our practice. So I use air quotes because easy seat can be quite relative. For some of us who've been sitting this way all of our lives, it can be easy. For me, I've always been someone who's more comfortable sitting on the floor than in a chair. So that's for me. There are other things that are challenging or hard for me. For others of us who've maybe been sitting in chairs for a long time, or that have knees that we're caring for, or hips that we're caring for, or just some tightness in the back or the hamstrings, this easy seat is not always quite so easy. So I want to offer and show you some options for this easy seat. Two things often happen when we sit down, especially if we have some tightness. This is for those of us whose knees feel okay, but there's tightness other places. A lot of times we find that the knees pop up really high, and if the knees are above that hip crease, that's gonna get really uncomfortable. Right here, we're gonna start to feel pinching and tension. The other thing that often happens because of tightness is the low back especially tends to round, and there's just no amount of energy we can use. Sometimes we can sit up tall, but for many of us, I'm sitting up as tall as I can, I'm stuck, I can't go any further. So there's a couple of things that we can do to help with that. Sitting up on something. So I have my trusty bolster here, pretty thick. You don't have to start out this thick, but this can be helpful. This trusty bolster then helps me sit up nice and tall, okay? And then when I bring my feet in, my knees maybe drop below my hips, but maybe they still don't come to the floor. Maybe they're floating out here on the floor somewhere. And so perhaps I use my blocks, which is difficult to see the blocks, the black blocks on the black mat, but placing those blocks underneath the knees can also allow these inner thigh muscles and these hip muscles some relaxation and some release. So those can be two things that are incredibly helpful. If you don't need this much height, you could sit up on one or two blankets, and that would be absolutely perfect. Now for those of us who are caring for our knees, I want to remind you guys, knees, hips, shoulders, whatever you're caring for, true yoga, real yoga, is about practicing ahimsa. And we use that word on Wednesday, which means non-harming or compassion for all. And that means not just compassion for everybody around us, because I know many of you guys are caretakers and caregivers and are constantly giving to everyone else, but that compassion needs to be directed to ourselves. Particularly if we have parts of the body that aren't as strong as we would like, or aren't as flexible as we would like, or aren't as healthy as we would like. That means we're compassionate to those parts too. That we don't say, this is my bad knee. We say, this is the knee that needs a little extra love and attention. So I'm going to be gentle with it today. We need to listen to our knees just like we would listen to a friend who is hurting, who needs some support. We need to be as compassionate with our bodies as we are with those in our lives. So, if you're dealing with hips, these were some ways that you can be compassionate with the hips. If you are trying to be compassionate and practice ahimsa with the knees, some ways that we can do that. You can practice sitting in a pose called Dandasana, or staff pose. You still might need to elevate the hips up on something so that the back doesn't round. But you can extend the legs out in front of you and place blankets or blocks underneath the knees, and then sit up nice and tall here. So the knees are supported. There's a nice little bend in the knees. The hips are supported and we're sitting up a little taller. I will say, this way of sitting actually does take more core strength than sitting cross-legged. So just be aware that if you're sitting like this, you might begin to feel a little fatigued in the back or in the belly. And that's okay. Like a little fatigue, a little tiredness is all right. Rest for a little bit and then come back and, come back to that seat and really start to build that core strength and really start to build that strength in your low back, because that's really good for all of us. So if you have questions about an easy seat, another thing that I didn't bring in is a chair. You can also use a chair for your easy seat as well. So that's always an option for these poses, and I'm going to be demonstrating some of those as well. So if you have questions about your easy seat, drop them in the comments below. I will be happy to answer them. And I look forward to seeing you on our next video. Have a great day.